And swimming pools, you touched on that a little bit before. I wouldn't mind going back to that because I know that's a really big issue. What are you recommending as conveyancers to ensure that transaction goes through?
Yeah. So we would always recommend that a pool compliance certificate is put in place. I think from the agent's point of view, it's reassuring their client as the vendor that they won't have anything to worry about. They've done their bit in the transaction if in case there was a future tragedy in the pool. They've done their part, had the appropriate documentation, it's been issued. So our recommendation is that actually does go in the contract so that it's clear to both parties. If it's not in the contract, it is likely, particularly that the purchaser's conveyancer may request that for settlement. Because otherwise, when the purchaser buys the property, they become liable. So obviously they're looking out for their client's interest. So to avoid any issues at settlement, we advise it's addressed early on. So it can be dealt with so that it allows for a smooth settlement.
And you mentioned before also special conditions, and the conveyancer can help with drafting those. What are some common special conditions, and what special conditions would you specifically advise against?
In terms of common ones, obviously if there's a land division, there can be quite detailed special conditions about the deposit of a plan and when settlement is effected. So I definitely recommend an agent to speak to their conveyancer if they've got a land division situation. There can also be special conditions where one of the parties on the title may have died. Because you have to obviously then register the appropriate documentation at the Lands Titles Office. Or where both parties have died and there's a need for a grant of probate. Again, it's drafting in the timing of that and that document will be required before settlement.
And those obviously need to be 100% accurate. So definitely an area that a conveyancer can help with.
Yeah.